Hello, Sagittarius, and welcome back to your extended. All right, so I'm trying to see where we left off, and I don't know. Like I'm having this uh, there's like a rise of it's like excitement. Like it's a really fun and exciting energy that has like flooded the space right as I've hit record. Um, all right. Okay, so we're starting off the reading with, gosh, and it won't stop. Okay, it's like it's building. It's like building and building and building, and then, it's like I want to be like, ah! Okay, let me just cool off. All right, so we're starting your reading off with this is the it's the wands 10 of wands, but this is what's coming. This is showing itself as the sacrifice before it was sacrificed, because you can see here in the magician, this is like the moment when it was sacrificed. You see the correlation between the two, and I was talking about like a cat. um like what exactly is this? So it's presenting itself as a cat. So the cat energy, um just this is coming up, and I guess it's meant to be shared on the channel, but I am a Sag moon, so this is definitely correlating with me as, being a part of the collective. So there's a bit of a message in here for me as well. And this cat here is actually coming through as like a cat that I previously had, um, who I did actually have to sacrifice. Like my hand was forced in having to sacrifice this cat. Definitely not something that I wanted to do. Um, they just succumbed to like illness, and I had to, um, take the necessary steps so that there would be no more like pain or burden for this for the creature, So, um, it's showing me here that the energy that was put into this endeavor, this form, this cat, was like storing. It's coming through as like it was storing um a part of you within it. Hopefully you can see there, it's like this is her underneath this cat. So the cat is, well, it's acting as like a protective. It was protecting this energy that was laying, okay, it was protecting an energy that was laying dormant, and was storing it until the right time, when it's almost like this cat's purpose was to be a sacrifice. Wow, this is intense. So the cat's purpose was to be a sacrifice so that this part of you could um, be released. It's this. So this here is, okay, she kind of looks, we're going into like a maiden mother crone imagery here. So she to me looks like, well, she's like the mother. And this figure here, this other aspect of you, looks to me like the crone. She's got like gray hair. So an older, wiser, this owl energy, an older, wiser version of you was laying dormant and was being protected by this cat energy. And almost like the purpose of the cat was to be a sacrifice so that this aspect of yourself could come out, could be formed. You're looking at it, you're not really understanding exactly what it is. And it seems like this other can see that. They can see the formation of, well, this owl energy, which is coming through as an incredible, incredible wisdom, a lot of wisdom. Understanding how everything fits together, understanding like the bigger picture of things, being able to see like the entire scope of the circumstances and the situation and how everything played out. Um, you know, how it all played out. So they can see this energy within you. And I feel like perhaps, well, in this moment when you were in the sacrifice, you couldn't see this. It's kind of like when you look back. Okay, here we go. When you use your owl sight and you look back at this moment in time, you're going to see that energy, well, okay, this energy here is showing up in the same, it's showing up in the same position. You're going to see that that's the energy that was released. So in the former reading, the first half of your reading, I was talking about, oh, she's put this hat on. It looks like a witch's hat. And we have the magician here, the black cat, the witch's hat. This is telling me that your gifts at, well, you being a witch, you being I don't know what other like term to, how else to describe that. It's like that energy was awakened. It was released from within you. So it's intrinsically, it's a part of you. And all of this happening was what brought that to the surface. You being a witch. And it seems like this other, the one who called you, they can see that. They can see all, you might not be able to see this just yet because, well, it's just now coming to the forefront for you. It's just now kind of like materializing in your life right now. And because you are so in it, it can be a little hard to like see it unless unless you do have this owl sight or someone is like bringing it to you. So the sight that you're using, or that at least that you were using, I'm trying to just keep everything straight, is this raven energy. You were using the raven's sight in order to try to find answers as to why something occurred or what's happening next. So you're trying to like receive messages. And it's that, hang on, I'm getting a lot of things in the phone. Okay, so that seeking for answers in that type of way, using the raven's sight, was preventing you from, well, seeing the full scope of everything. So it was like a messenger or someone else was required to come in and kind of like break your focus up, break your focus from that sacrifice so that you could see everything for what it really is. so that you could see that you have this owl, like you have this crone energy. It's talking about the crone. Oh my gosh, it's like the wise woman of the village, like the village. Like I can see her in all of these, I can see the archetype. I'm trying to describe the archetype. I think that you know what I'm talking about. Like, you know what I'm talking about. So that energy is being released out of you. It's like you're now in the space of like it's you have the mother energy and you have the crone energy now. So mother maiden crone, I mean that is literally like witches. Okay, cool. So we have you. All right. It seems to me like the one who's like contacted you, they're presenting as this king of, what is it? The king of swords. It's a quail. And it looks to me like they've tried to approach you before. But this cat energy was, well, they couldn't get to you because you weren't ready to be released. You weren't ready. This is coming through as like a protective, some type of it could have been like this was harboring the crone energy so that it could develop develop properly. You weren't fully developed yet. So it's like they've been trying to come to you, but you weren't yet fully developed. And it's like it was only when this sacrifice happened that because then this would go away and you're open and you're visible. And so they've come again. And this king it's making me think of like in quail hunting. I don't know much about quail hunting, but I do know that kind of like they hide under, oh my god, they hide under the bushes like this, like hiding under the bushes, and you have to send in something like I don't know, I guess it's like a dog or something, and it causes them to take flight. That's kind of what they're doing for you. They're like, that's interesting. Okay, hang on a second. They're causing something that would allow for you to make this sacrifice so that this crone energy could be released. That's why I was wondering whether or not this sacrifice was like forced onto you, like your hand being forced. Were they or were they not? Did they do something to cause this? I feel like that is okay because I'm getting like highly suspicious right now. And I feel like that might be like your thought process. But I want to say that that's not the case. This feels a bit more like universal versus like something that specifically someone did. And I say that because we have the Seven of Wands that's coming up next. And this is coming through as like you trying to it's like how I was like, okay, did something like trying to find someone to blame. I don't, it's like you're defensive because you don't know. It's like you're suspecting that they did something that caused this sacrifice, but that's actually, it's like it's not, that's not the case here. They didn't do anything. It's like they've just been wait, because they're the quail. That's what I'm saying. They're presenting as the quail. They're not the one that went in. It was the, it's like a universal thing that went in and scared the bush creatures, and caused this sacrifice, this release. So it's, what it's telling me is that that's what we were talking about in the first half of the reading. You two being same. It's almost like, did this process happen for them as well? Because they're presenting as a quail too. And they can see that in you. And I feel like initially you're a little bit defensive about it because you're trying to use, that's what this was talking about. You're trying to use the raven's sight when you should be using the owl sight. I don't know what the significance or the difference is between that. And hopefully that might be actually like something for one of you, that you know what that means for you. So you're initially a little bit like defensive about this one's approach. And it seems like it's only because the crone energy, the owl sight energy, was still in development. So once that has been once this cat has been like cast off, the energy of that sacrifice has been cast off, it's like you'll have your owl sight fully developed, and you'll be able to see the entirety of the picture. And it seems like what you're going to come to knowing is, with the 8 of Swords, that this is actually what you've wished for. She looks like she's praying. So it's kind of like you're not recognizing, you've manifested, you're not recognizing your manifestation. That's what it's talking about. You're not recognizing your manifestation of the Emperor. And they're coming through as this raven. So, wasn't I saying that when you, okay, so when you use your owl sight and you look back at this sacrifice, these these manifestation or prayers, you're going to see that this is exactly what you have been wishing for, praying for, wanting to develop in your life. You've been wishing for this. You've been wanting this. And it required some type of sacrifice in order to get that energy to be like, with this, it required that in order for this to be blossomed. All of these buds here, they're just buds. They haven't yet blossomed. And so you were wishing for the blossoming to happen. And one of the blossoms, let's signify that only one of these blossoms here is what's being presented in the reading. So if we're talking about you discovering that you're a witch, like that's only one of the blossoms that's here. There are several other blossoms or prayers, things that you've been wishing for, hoping for, that are then they're gonna come back into your awareness with this owl sight. And it's again demonstrating that you might not be able to see that right now because everything is so close and up front in your face. Does that make sense? It's like you can't exactly see it yet because you haven't gotten that outside perspective, which I believe is what this well, they're presenting as the King of Swords, and they're also presenting as a raven. And now I'm noticing that we have you here as the Queen of Swords. So that's a match. They're seeing similarities in your story to theirs. Like they're seeing that you are of okay, hang on. You are of like mind because of the swords. They're seeing that you guys are you're like-minded. So you've manifesting, okay, them to come in as the King of Swords, as the Emperor, as what you've been wanting. I'm loving how you're okay. There's a difference between resistance and hesitancy here. Resistance is where you don't want to do something because you just don't want to do that. You just don't want to do it. You have no desire. That's not what's happening here. So I was initially describing this as resistance, and it's not a resistance. It's coming through as like a hesitancy because you do want to do this, but you don't know what it entails. So there is an unknown aspect to it. However, with your owl sight, the owl can see into the unknown. So what's coming up is like you're well equipped because this energy has awakened within you, this crone energy, depicted as the owl. You're well equipped to step into the unknown because you're going to be able to see everything around you. You're going to have that 360 view. You're going to have the wisdom to be able to make whatever choices that need to be made, or, to be able to handle this new, well, I want to say it's a new endeavor. Were we talking about a new position? Because I was in that other chair and then I moved back. So it's talking about like you're in that new position. You're going to be able to you're going to handle it. You're going to be able to handle it is what it's talking about. And so we're moving from this, it's this beautiful gradual process where you're moving from this hesitancy to realizing that this is what you've prayed for. And then in this Knight of Cups energy here, it's talking about you. Hang on. I just saw this word down here. And it looks like teacher. You and this teacher joining forces. Because now you're riding the Raven. You've joined forces and you are off on a brand new, a new adventure, like a new adventure in what? A new adventure in discovering your, well, your gifts, right? They're coming through as the teacher, a new adventure in discovering your gifts, because it's coming up as the cup energy and all of these blossoms. It's like this is only one of the blossoms that has like started to open up. There's so many others that are waiting to be like coaxed into development. So you joining forces with this teacher are, it's gonna, you're gonna now, this is so beautiful, you're gonna see this blossoming within you. You're gonna, it's like a new discovery on, well, discovering you, discovering yourself, discovering who you are. And I'm loving this because this energy here with the Eight of Swords, this blossoming here, she's looking like a maiden. It's like this was the energy before the sacrifice as the mother. And then now, after, you see, it's like mother, maiden, crone. Or, you know what I'm saying. Mother, maiden, crone. It's this witchy energy. It's beautiful. It's, and so it's like they've spotted you. They've been trying to come to you, but it's kind of along the lines of like, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Your teacher has appeared to you. Lose the hesitancy and like go for it, because so much more is going to blossom out of you. It's so magnificent. And when you look back, you're going to see you're going to see everything. You're going to see how like every single step that you've taken has led you to this point, and it's going to be like a blast of illumination. It's stunning. It's stunning. Okay. Sagittarius, I'm so excited for you. It's like that energy keeps rising up. All right. So I will see you next time. Have a good one, Sag. Bye.